In this video, I'm going to teach you how to solve trigonometric equations. I'm going to teach you how to solve question 8a up to question 8h from Mathematics Show Sheet 4, which is on trigonometry. But before we go further, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel for more great videos. And also make sure that you hit the notification button so that every time I'm going to post a video, you're going to get notified. So I'm going to make a video very soon on Show Sheet 5, which is on calculus. So please just stay tuned. So let us start with question 8a. So what is question 8 all about? So question 8a, we've been given a trigonometric equation. So our trigonometric equation is 4 sine x plus 3 is equal to 5. Then we've been told to solve for x. And the x should be less than, should be greater than or equal to 0. And also should be less than or equal to 360. So that's our interval. So 0 is less than or equal to x, and x is less than or equal to 2 pi. So let us see how we can solve this equation. So we're just going to use the same algebraic process. So this is 4 sine x. So we're just going to use the same algebraic process that you are familiar with. So this is equal to 3 will move to the other side, which is 5 minus 3. So this is going to be a negative 3. Then 4 sine x, when you subtract 3 from 5, it is equal to 2. What else are you going to do? We are going to divide throughout. Okay, so divided by 4. So this is giving us sine x is equal to half. All right, so now we're trying to find an angle, which is x. So we're going to say x is equal to sine inverse of half. Okay, so what is sine inverse of half? Or at which angle is sine equal to half? So we know that it is at 30 degrees. All right, so x is 30 degrees. So in the first quadrant, x is 30 degrees, or x is equal to 30 degrees. What else are we going to find? To find the angle in the second quadrant, we are going to say 180 minus 30 degrees. So 180 degrees minus 30 degrees, which is equal to 150 degrees. So we've got two angles. We've got x in the first quadrant, which is 30 degrees, and also x in the second quadrant, which is 150 degrees. So these are solutions for question 8a. Let us now proceed to question 8b. So question 8b, we've got a trigonometric equation. So this trigonometric equation, it is 2 cos squared x is equal to 1 minus sine x. So how can you solve this question? Because you have to see that we've got different variables. We've got cos and the sine. So the first thing that you have to do if you've got this kind of equation, you need to change the variables so that they become the same. Okay, so you're going to manipulate the variables so that you have same variables. So that you can get similar variables. That's what I mean. So we know that. So we're going to use an identity. We know that cos squared x plus sine squared x is equal to 1. So we're going to make cos squared x substitute the formula. So it's going to be cos squared x. So this is what I'm saying, that cos squared x is equal to 1 minus sine squared x. So when you use the Pythagoras identity, you make cos squared x and substitute the formula, you're going to get that. So this is what we are going to replace with is cos squared x in the trigonometric equation. So we're going to say that 2 open brackets, where this cos squared x will replace with 1 minus sine squared x. Because we only want to have sines or sine function throughout the equation. We don't want to have cos and there we've got sine. We can't solve an equation like that. We've got two different variables, two unknown quantities at the same time. It's not possible to solve an equation that way. So is equal to 1 minus sine x. Then we distribute 2. 2 times 1, that is 2. 2 times negative sine x, that is negative 2 sine x, sine squared x, okay, is equal to 1 minus sine x. So we can bring the 2 to the other side, and also sine x to the other side. So this is going to be negative 2 sine squared x plus sine x is equal to 1 minus 2. Okay, so negative 2 sine squared x, plus sine x is equal to negative 1. So if you want to eliminate this negative which we have at the beginning there, before 2 sine squared x, we can just multiply throughout by negative 1. So this is going to be equal to 2 sine squared x minus sine x is equal to positive 1. All right, so now we've made our life easy. So what are we going to do next? So we're going to say, to make our life more easier, we're just going to say let y is equal to sine x. So whatever is sine x, we're going to replace it with y to make our life easier. So 2y squared minus y, okay, so is equal to 1. Okay, so now we can bring 1 to the other side. So we can say this is 2y squared minus y minus 1 is equal to 0. So now we're just going to factorize. We're going to find the product sum and factor. So what are the product sum factors? What two numbers, when we multiply this, because our product is 2. So product is 2. 2 times 1, that's our product. Giving us, sorry, our product is negative 2. Then what is our sum? Our sum is negative 1. So what are two numbers which when we add them give us negative 1, and when we multiply them give us negative 2? So what are these two numbers? So you need to look for these two numbers. Okay, so that is negative 1 and so the factors, let's say factors, we're going to find that is negative. Okay, so that is negative 2 and 1. So these are the two factors, negative 2 and 1. These are our two factors. So we know that here 2y is common. So we can factor it out. We are going to remain with y minus 1. There, what is common there? That is only 1 is common. So y minus 1 is equal to 0. So if you just see these factors are the same, just know that you are correct. So we're going to say this is 2y plus 1, and then y minus 1 is equal to 0. Okay, so now we can find the value for y. So we know that 2y plus 1 is equal to 0. So this is 2y is equal to negative 1. So y is equal to negative half. Okay, so we have got one solution for y. And another solution, we're just going to say y minus 1 is equal to 0. So y is equal to 1. So that's the second solution for y. So now, you know that y is equal to sine x. So we found solution for y. But what about the solution for x? We don't know. So we're going to replace where there's y with sine x to find the final solutions. So we found that y is equal to negative half and y is equal to 1. So let us say that y is equal to negative half and y is equal to 1. So this is the same as sine x is equal to negative half. Okay, so x is the same as sine, trying to find the angle, inverse, okay, of negative half. And then even here, we're going to say that sine x is equal to 1. So x is equal to sine inverse of 1. So sine inverse of 1. That is the thing we're trying to find. So sine inverse of 1. What is the hang? What is sine inverse of 1? So sine inverse of 1 is equal to 90 on a unit second. So sine 90 degrees is equal to 1. Okay? So now if we're trying to express this in radians, 90 is the same as pi over 2. So that's one of the solutions that we have. We found one of the solutions. Let us find another solutions. So another solution, what we are going to do, we are going to say, what is sine half? So sine half is the same as 30 degrees. So sine half is the same as 30 degrees. But you have to look here. When you look here, you're going to see that it's negative. So they mean that we need to get our solutions from the quadrant where sine is negative. So the solutions are lying in the quadrant where sine is negative, because they have got a negative half. So we know that sine half is equal to 30 degrees. So, and then we need also to understand that sine is positive in the first quadrant and in the second quadrant, but it's negative in the third quadrant and fourth quadrant. So our solutions, they are lying in the third quadrant and in the fourth quadrant. So we know that our difference angle is 30 degrees. So to find the solutions in the third quadrant, we're just going to say 180 plus 30 degrees, which is our difference angle, giving us 210. So what is 210 in radians? So 210 in radians is the same as 7 pi over 6. The reason I'm leaving my solution in radians is because the interval that we've been given, it is 0 is less than or equal to x, and x is less than or equal to 2 pi. So if you've been given an interval in radians, leave your answers in radians. If you've been given an interval in degrees, leave your answer in degrees. Very important. So to find another angle, so this angle is lying in the third quadrant. So to find another angle in the fourth quadrant, for sine is equal to negative half, we're going to say that x is equal to 360. So this is in the fourth quadrant. 360 minus 30, which is equal to 330 degrees. So another solution that we found is that x is equal to 330 degrees. Okay, so we've got three solutions. 330 degrees. So what is 330 degrees in radians? So 330 degrees in radians is equal to 11 pi over 6. 11 pi over 6. So that is another solution. 11 pi over 6. So we've got three solutions. So this is all for question 8b. Let us go to question 8c. Question 8c, we've been given 2 sine squared x plus 2 cos x minus 2 is equal to 0. So even in this expression, when you look at this, we've got two different variables, two unknown quantities. We cannot find two unknown quantities at the same time. Okay? unless maybe if you've got a simultaneous equation, but this is just a single equation. It's not possible to find two unknown quantities at the same time. So what you have to do, you have to make sure that the quantities or the variables, they are similar. So we are going to use the Pythagoras identity. We know that cos squared x plus sine squared x is equal to 1. So we can make sine squared x a substitute formula. So sine squared x is equal to 1 minus cos squared x. So the same identity that we used in the, I think in the previous question, now we're just going to make sine squared x as a substitute formula. So what is sine squared x? We're going to replace with this. So this is 1 minus cos squared x plus 2 cos x minus 2 is equal to 0. Then we're going to distribute 2. So this is 2 minus 2 cos squared x, then plus 2 cos x minus 2 is equal to 0. So as you can see, these 2 and these 2 can cancel. So we remain with negative 2 cos squared x, negative 2 cos squared x plus 2 cos x is equal to 0. Okay, so now what can we do? What are we going to do? So the second thing that we're going to do, we're going to say negative 2 cos squared x is equal to, let us move this one to this side. So is equal to negative 2 cos x. So we know that, or we are going to say that this negative sign will cancel, can be divided, and even the 2 can be divided. So we are only remaining with cos squared x is equal to cos x. Cos squared x is equal to cos x. So we can divide by cos x, even here by cos x. Okay, so when we divide, we are going to remain with cos x, because this is squared. This is cos squared x. So when we divide by cos x, we're going to remain with 1 cos x. So this side, we're going to remain with 1. So now trying to find the angle at cos x is equal to 1. So we say cos x, is equal to cos inverse of 1. Okay. So our x is equal to 0 degrees. So cos x is 1 at 0 degrees and also 360. Because what you have to understand is that 360 and 0 degrees, they are at the same point. So our angles in radians now, our solutions in radians, is equal to 0 degrees in radians, 0 degrees. Then 360 in radians is 2 pi. So these are the solutions for question 8C. Let us now do, let us now go to question 8D. So question 8D, we've got this equation. Sin x is equal to 0. Okay, so this one you can't go direct. The reason why you can't go direct is that there is this variable here, which is very significant. So we need to focus on that. So when you look at that, that is coming from the double angle identities. So there is an identity for that. So what's the identity state? So the identity state that sine 2x is equal to 2 sine x cos x. So this is the identity, the double angle identity for sine function. So you need to know that. You can add that to your notes. So what does it mean? This just simply means that whatever there is sine 2x, we're going to replace it with 2 sine x cos x. So let us try to rewrite our equation. So this is 2 sine x cos x, then plus sine x is equal to 0. Okay? Is equal to 0. So the second thing that we are going to do, 2 sine x cos x, we are going to move this to the other side. So it's going to be negative sine x. And then divide both sides. So divided both sides by sine x. So we are going to divide by sine x divided by sine x. So this and that will cancel, and that will cancel. So what are we remaining with? We're only remaining with 2 cos x is equal to negative 1. So what we have now is 2 cos x. So what we have now is 2 cos x. 2 cos x is equal to negative 1. So we can divide both sides by 2 and there by 2. When we cancel, we're going to remain with cos x is equal to negative half. So we're trying to find an angle. So x is equal to cos inverse of negative half. So what is cos half? What is cos half? Because the first thing that you have to do, you need to find the reference angle. So what is cos half on the unit circle? So cos half or cos x is equal to half at 60 degrees. So that's the angle. So at 60 degrees, cos x is equal to half. So our reference angle is 60 degrees. Now, where are our angles going to lie? Where is cosine negative? So cosine, it is negative in the second quadrant and also in the fourth quadrant. I mean, in the third quadrant. So in the second quadrant and the third quadrant, cos is negative. So our angles, they're going to lie in the second quadrant and third quadrant. So to find angle in the second quadrant, what we do is 180 minus the reference angle. So our reference angle is 60. 180 minus 60, which is equal to 120. So 120 degrees. What is 120 degrees in radians? So 120 degrees in radians is same as 2 pi over 3. 2 pi over 3. So that's one of the solutions. So this angle is in the second quadrant. To find the other angle, which is in the third quadrant, we are going to say x is equal to 180 plus 60 degrees, giving us 240. So 240 degrees. But we need to convert that into radians. So 240 degrees is equal to 4 pi over 3. So that is 4 pi over 3. So that is our solution. We found two solutions. So the first solution we found is 2 pi over 3, and the second solution is 4 pi over 3. Thank you guys for watching my video. So this is what I got for you. Don't forget to subscribe.